Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Ooh, we had a band in today, so I have no voice. It was fun. And just so you know, the picture that I sent on Discord, it's the video, it's not what it looks like. He wasn't flat drunk. He sings that song every year on his birthday on our stage. He is best friends with the owner. So that's him sober. Well, not 100% sober, but that's him sober. Oh man. So I'm trying to get to here. Thank you, Tina P. Tina P has been around for a while, guys. Tina P, that's so nice of you. Thank you. Hope Johnson. Um, I thought it said it. Did you become an extreme member or am I missing one? You guys did all this before I started. I missed something. I think it was you who became an extreme member. Listen, extreme videos are extreme. That's all I have to say on that. Maiko, I did it. I did it. I did a short on the smiling lawyer. I did it. It was so hard, but for you, I did it. I I loved it. I loved it. All right. So today we're going to go into. All right, we've seen this before. I've played one stream I played before about court reporters who get in trouble. They don't just get in trouble, they get in trouble. Yay, member for 4 months. Oh, this is the first time this is doing this. Member for 1 month. Big booty starfish. I don't know why he's doing that. Am I supposed to put each of those up? Because you've all been a member for like I would have to do that. Oh man, I have to figure that out. Also, if you sent me a Discord message, I'm working on it. There's a lot of Discord messages. I'm trying to get through them. I did not have time. I did not. I had to get some shorts out. I had a choice. I had to get some shorts out today because it's been a while. Um, look, thank you, Rebecca. But man, guys, if I do that for each one, that's a lot. There's thousands. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. Not because I don't appreciate it. I do. I just think that I will get really bad comments. I know I will. Let's get to the court reporting. We're going to get to these court reporters.
She's available.
So A, in the matter of Norma Rico, case number 0654.
Commissioners, Ms. Rico has admitted to the violations in this case. What is it issue is what is the appropriate sanction for her violations? We are seeking permanent revocation and a penalty of $1,500 for the violations outlined in the notice of violation provided to you. Commissioners, we never seek permanent revocation in any of our cases unless there's a compelling reason to do so. We know how essential court reporters are to the justice system in Texas and how the shortage of reporters has adversely impacted the system. So why are we seeking permanent revocation and a penalty? Ms. Rico has a history of flouting the laws regulating court reporters. I use the word flouting because Ms. Rico's actions demonstrate a conscious disregard of the rules. In the last two cases that were before you in November 2022, she not only collected over $11,000 for practicing court reporting 29 times without a certification, but she also deliberately misrepresented her credentials by stating she was certified when she was not. She also failed to submit an answer to the complaint filed against her, despite 1 request and 4 reminders. Ms. Rico appeared before you by Zoom at that November meeting and explained the problems in her personal life as a basis for her non-compliance with the law. The commission, having heard her reasons, issued a $2,000 administrative penalty and a 12-month probated suspension. While she didn't comply with the terms of her probation, she didn't pay the $2,000 timely and committed new violations and never reported them to the commission. The commission's compliance manager found out about them and opened this new complaint. In this case is now before you, Ms. Rico failed to timely file reporter's records in 6 criminal cases, 4 of which were murder cases where the defendants are appealing their convictions. She not only failed to file them timely, but she failed to timely request deadline extensions. In Ricky Armstrong, a murder case, the trial court had to hold a hearing to determine why the record was not filed. In Byron Fleming, she failed to communicate with the court. In Fleming, Matthew Kenny, DeCarrick Hamilton, and Darren Hansen, the court had to order her to not sit as a court reporter until the records were filed. We are arguing that the following factors which the commission must consider when determining a sanction apply. 1, the violations are serious and numerous. 2, she has a history of previous violations. 3, she was not deterred in committing future violations after she was sanctioned 2 years ago. 4, she didn't demonstrate good faith in correcting the violations. And 5, she kept silent and didn't report the violations after the November 2022 meeting.
Salt
We don't
away.
believe that the personal problems she may complain about at this meeting are compelling reasons for continuing to allow her to practice court reporting in Texas. Ms. Rico's inactions have disrupted the functioning of the criminal justice system. For these reasons, we are seeking a permanent revocation of her court reporter certification and the maximum penalty of $500 for 3 code of ethics violations for a total penalty of $1,500 due no later than 12 months after the date of the final order. Thank you.
Ms. Rico, good morning. Did you have anything you wanted to offer?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did you hear Ms. Mohan? I was asking you, ma'am, if you had anything you wanted to offer to the commission on her recommendation.
Yes. So I kind of have a question on something Ms. Mohan said. She said that I didn't report the violations. I'm not understanding that part. Ms. Mohan, can you explain that?
Sure. Our compliance manager, Melinda Saucedo, found out about the records and the criminal cases that I outlined. She found that out independently. It wasn't because of you disclosing that information, even though you were put on probation and you were instructed not to have any future violations.
Okay, I wasn't aware that I had to report whenever it came to those records and things like that. But why I didn't report it, I mean, I don't have an explanation for it other than I didn't know that I had to report it. But I mean, I understand that your argument is that my life circumstances are not enough to explain why I found myself in the situation that I did, but I do believe that I complied with the previous order because while I did pay my fee late, yes, I do acknowledge that. I lost my son back in December and I was completely caught up with that. And well, I wouldn't have gotten to the point to where I got if I hadn't suffered a fall down the stairs and broken my foot that put me behind. when I went back to work, I was in trial for almost 6 weeks. And that also affected me. Throughout the whole thing, I was dealing with my son and my husband who was sick. And it's all unfortunate, but I got my work done. I got my work turned in, and I'm on top of everything now. I don't have anything behind. And while I do understand that this is about me today, you know, I am in knowledge of other reporters who have a number of outstanding records, and they've had a number of sit-out orders, and I don't understand why I was filed a grievance on when there are other reporters who are probably in an even graver situation than what I am. But again, like I said, I understand that this is about me, and I've gotten caught up even through everything that I've had to endure. After losing my son, I'm on top of everything, and I'm a good reporter, and I do believe that I am worthy of being a court reporter. I understand that, you know, I felt short. I understand that I got caught up in my personal life, and it affected me in a way that I never imagined that. I mean, I never even thought I would even be here. A first time, let alone a second time. I mean, but to say that I don't learn from my mistakes and I don't make my efforts to turn it around, I can't say that. I know my job. I understand how important my job is. I'm not being dismissive of that. And while, yes, I fell short last year of doing what I needed to do, and maybe I asked for help a little too late, I got all of my work turned in within 30 days. I mean, I lost my son in December. I was, you know, couldn't be given any more time. Once I was addressed in January, I pulled myself together to get everything taken care of and turned in, and I did, and it's all been cleared. I don't have anything outstanding. I'm in good standing right now, and this is my livelihood, and I've worked really hard for it. I've been reporting 8 years, and this is the first time I've had to deal with anything like this. And yes, I understand that we all have life, and we do have to learn to push and pull through, and we do have to learn how to manage our personal life and still be accountable for our work.
Her son died. Her son and husband got sick, and her son died, and her work fell behind.
And come through as we're expected to come through. But I don't feel that permanently revoking my license would be the answer. I understand that, yes, there has to be discipline. And I mean, I don't deny the allegations. I didn't deny them the first time, and I don't deny them now because, I mean, it would be disrespectful for me to do so, given that it's in plain paper and in plain sight. But I do argue for myself because I do know that I am a good court reporter. Again, I care. I love my job. I know my job, and this is all I have. And
Man, let me see if the commission members have any questions for you at this time. Anybody have anything for Ms. Rico?
Judge Earl, I'm sorry, if I can shed some light as to how the whole complaint process happened. The court of
Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Ms. Rico?
yes,
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
So I've reached out to the Court of Appeals and asked them if there are any reporters who are severely late on their appellate records to let me know and send me the orders. They did send me an order. However, Ms. Rico was a sub one of the days of that record, and her name was in there. But the order was directed to the actual official. And so I had gone to look to see Ms. Rico's history with the appellate court, and that's how this came about, that these records were late. And the complaints are being opened against all the reporters that the appellate court notifies me of.
All right, so ma'am, that's how it came about. And other reports.
So nobody complained about her. They just decided to audit all of the court reporters, and now they're all getting in trouble.
May have the same issue and they will be dealt with down the road. But as far as you, does anybody have any questions of Ms. Rico?
I've got one.
Please.
Ms. Rico, I went through your history as prepared by the staff, and I noticed a whole lot of times you were granted extension after extension after extension. They would almost always grant your extension, but whenever they granted your extension and gave you a specific date, you never made that, and then you would ask for another extension. And I'm wondering, it may seem little, but when your first extension was up and you needed another one, you waited till several days, sometimes a week or two or longer, to ask for another extension. That was a very simple deal. I know you had a lot of stress, but I don't know why you would not take 5 minutes and ask for another extension at the time that the other one is due. You let it go past due, and then you have to ask for extension after the fact, over and over and over again. And I just want to, that kind of bothers me a little bit about your attitude, even though you were under stress, that you would take that kind of attitude towards these extensions. Do you have any kind of explanation for that?
So,
Thank you,
in
Fozzie.
Dallas County, the way I was given advice to do it was that when the record comes due, wait until you're notified that the record is due, and then either get it turned in by that due date, or when the due date comes and it's still not ready, then ask for your extension. And then I was also guided in that, okay, if you don't want to have to ask for an extension, then, they usually will give you, several days, a week. And then if you still don't have it turned in, okay, go ahead and ask for an extension. And that's kind of how things played out for me whenever I was trying to get my records and dealing with not just my broken foot, but dealing with my son and everything that he was going through at the time. And, I shouldn't have taken that approach, because then when I started to fall behind, it did become a lot. And then I ended up facing tragedy, and it, all just went downhill from there. But I have learned from that, and to say that that's my attitude now, most definitely not.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Commission?
I asked Ms. Mohan to go over again what she is suggesting as the penalty here.
Could you repeat your request for sanction, please?
We're seeking a permanent revocation of a court reporter certification and a penalty of $1,500 for 3 code of ethics violations. And that's at the maximum penalty of $500 per violation.
If we go permanent,
Sorry, but who's that? Who's Beans? Is Jelly Beans here? We haven't seen Jelly Beans in so long, and I can't see what that's from. Jelly Beans, if you're here and I missed you, hi. I missed you.
Ms. Mohan, is she prevented from applying 4 years from now? Is it an absolute bar that she can't even apply, or we call it permanent? And then if she reapplies, then a new look would be given her application.
It would be a refusal to renew, and it would be permanent as well. And we can add that to the motion so it's clear.
Thank you.
And the prior penalty was?
It was a 12-month probated suspension and I think a $2,000 penalty. And at that time we were seeking revocation.
I also think that, if I'm not mistaken, this was the case that she needed to notify all of the courts
Yes.
and the attorneys for the cases that she had reported for, that I believe she was not certified at the time or was late. We did have an issue where we had to contact Ms. Rico after the date that she was supposed to submit to us the emails. And she did get that to us, but it was late.
Any other questions? Any motions?
So I have a question, Ms. Mohan. So the previous penalties, the fees, were they ever paid, or is that on top of that plus this new fee that we're seeking?
The $2,000 penalty was from the previous case, and she was late in filing that. And I think, Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, but someone had to reach out to her, remind her to pay the penalty.
Yes, for that and for the notification to the attorneys in the courts that she had reported for at that time.
But it was paid.
Yes.
It was paid, but we had to initiate a suspension proceeding, a cease and desist to require that she pay. And it was after that was filed that she paid.
Remind me once more, what is the total amount, summing up the total requested in penalties?
For this case, $1,500 for
Happy birthday, Mish. Everybody wish Mish a happy birthday.
3 penalties, and each one was assessed at the maximum penalty of $500.
So I have a question, Ms. Mohan. So am I understanding correctly? Was she suspended the last time and still working, or?
It was under a probated suspension,
Oh,
so that
okay.
allowed her to work.
Yes.
Any other questions, motions?
I move for permanent, without any penalties, because it ostensibly, the purpose of the penalty, one of many reasons would be to deter future actions. The action we would take today would be permanent removal. And based on the history, it's likely to take additional resources from the state to try to even collect this money based on the previous history. So that is my motion.
So we have a motion to issue a final order against the respondent imposing permanent revocation without the monetary sanction. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Chairman, just wanted to clarify that the permanent revocation would also mean that she can apply again. So it would be a permanent refuse to renew in addition to that.
So you're asking for permanent plus never to, right?
Right, I think that's what I proposed earlier because of the question that we had earlier about her right to renew.
Did you want to modify the motion to include that permanent refusal?
That is my motion.
I believe if it's revoked, she's no longer licensed, so renewal is really not an option anyway, isn't that correct? I mean, she can't renew what she doesn't have. She would have to.
I guess maybe
Can she
the,
retest, like maybe if we were to amend your motion, Victor, to?
So it'd be revocation without the option of ever applying for
Right.
licensure again.
yes, that would be what staff is proposing.
Never ever to.
Right. Because of the history of non-compliance.
Okay, so the motion is what she's proposing, which is permanent revocation without the option to reapply.
That is my motion.
Second,
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One opposition? Motion carries. Rico, thank you very much for being here. Good luck on your future endeavors. That's all we can do today, but you are excused, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I have a question. Is this the final decision?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way for me to negotiate it?
No, ma'am, that was prior to that. So we're done today and you are excused and have a great day. Take care.
Can I appeal it?
You know, we're not, we can't advise you as to how to proceed. There is an appellate avenue. Maybe you want to talk to a lawyer.
Okay, so when will this take effect?
Immediately.
Upon signing of the final.
Then if you're gonna get a written order, as soon as it's prepared and signed, that'll be effective. So you'll get a copy of that.
So am I still allowed to continue to work until then?
I wouldn't advise it, ma'am, but you will get a copy of our written order shortly. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
We have one more. But before we get there, I want to thank one, I am yes for the super sticker or super chat in my comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Now we got one more court reporter.
Okay, so on our next compliance hearing, we have 4 matters in the matter of Cheryl Dixon, 0513, 0584, 0607, 0652. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I think it'd probably be easier if you have a seat at the end of the table, if you don't mind.
Commissioners, court reporters are an essential part of the legal system. Earning a court reporter certification in Texas is not easy. It takes dedication, hard work, solid knowledge of the rules, and passing a rigorous examination. But when a court reporter violates the laws regulating the profession, especially repeatedly, it brings dysfunction to the operation of the courts and the system of justice. This is the 3rd time Cheryl Dixon is before the commission. Ms. Dixon is not contesting the violations or the administrative penalty in her most recent cases. At issue today is whether the commission should permanently refuse to renew or approve her application for certification because at this time it is expired. I'd like to give you some background about her past disciplinary cases. In November 2017, she untimely submitted deposition transcripts and was issued a private reprimand and required to complete continuing education. In May 2019, she appeared before you with 3 cases against her. The common allegations for those cases were late transcripts and failure to communicate with her clients. She cited personal reasons as a reason for her non-compliance with the law. She agreed to the violations in those cases and actually agreed to a 2-year revocation of her court reporter certification. She subsequently completed all the requirements to re-earn her certification. Now she's before you in 4 cases. Again, there's a pattern to her misconduct. In 0513, she never delivered a deposition transcript and did not immediately report delays in meeting delivery deadlines. She broke promises by stating that she would deliver a transcript by a certain date and by failing to do so. In 0584, she failed to deliver a reporter's record in an aggravated assault case. The appellate court had to issue a no-sit order. Ms. Dixon failed to submit the record and another court reporter was appointed to prepare it. In this case, she filed an answer with the commission 47 days after the deadline. In 0607, she failed to deliver a transcript and did not provide immediate notifications of delays. She failed to refund the complainant after a promise to do so. She filed an answer to the complaint 190 days after the deadline. In 0652, she again failed to submit a reporter's record by the due date, didn't timely file extensions, and was found in contempt of court, arriving at the hearing 1 hour late, and filed an answer with the commission 23 days after the deadline. For all of these violations, Ms. Dixon cited personal problems. While we may sympathize with a person who is going through hardships, we have to think about that person's overall impact on our judicial system. Ms. Dixon has had 7 cases filed against her, and agreed to the violations in all of those cases. The violations are serious and numerous. She was given second chances, but repeated the violations. The court reporter complaint review committee has lost faith in her ability to do her job and fulfill her job responsibilities reliably and competently. We think a permanent refusal to renew or approve her certification is the most appropriate sanction in Ms. Dixon's case, in addition to the
Most Americans who work are overworked.
$9,500 penalty he has agreed to pay within 12 months of the date of the final order. Thank you.
All right, good morning, Ms. Dixon.
Good morning.
I'll tell you what, I should have done this last time. I don't remember if I did or not. Would you raise your right hand for me, please?
This is my first name.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about the other hearing, not you. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You said obviously the evidence and the testimony to given the cause will be the true self you got.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You've heard Ms. Mohan and her request to the commission. Anything you'd like to offer on your own behalf, ma'am?
On my own behalf, yes. First of all, I'm agreeing to the penalties, the violations. I am contesting the proposed sanction of permanent revocation. I've never been offered a probated sentence. I've been a reporter for over 20 years, most of which is in court. I have advanced certifications. This particular set of circumstances with the 513, she went back to November of 17. Around that time, I had carpal tunnel symptoms and I didn't know what was going on with my hands. Subsequently, I took pretty much 2018 off and had to have surgery. And so in the process, I had complaints and I agreed to the revocation in 19. I followed through. I even waited an extra year before I applied to take the test again. I applied to take the test 2 years ago. I passed the test, but during that same time, I was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. I didn't know that. So that's been the root cause of my issues with depression and anxiety. So it's addressed. I'm addressing it. I'm medicated. I continue to cover court. I've been working. My license just ended a couple days ago on the 31st. As far as the 513, Ms. Corona, she did transcribe that transcript. With regard to 584, that one, my notes were lost on my computer. And I guess for some reason I was just afraid to just tackle it or whatever. But long story short, that appellate record, it was a week long of trial, was able to get processed. And without the audio, another reporter was able to read my notes. I'm a real-time reporter. I have been since 2008, certified as a real-time reporter. So she was able to take my notes, something I was afraid to do, and transcribe that. And that was filed. As far as Ms. Fowler in 0607, I put a call into her. I'm prepared to pay her refund. I did not have it in this past year. I was going through litigation with my ex-husband, custody of our daughter, and this with my work situation. So just everything hit the fan basically. And so just funds were scarce and could barely make ends meet. So I'm doing better in that sense. As far as 0652 with the Third Court of Appeals, I did get that filed. I did pay that sanction. Like I said, the root cause of my issues is mental health. It's been addressed. I'm addressing it. I feel good. I know it's a shortage of reporters. I am kind of rare. I was driving all over to cover the courts in the rural areas. So I can email it to you guys or I can just pass it around, but I printed a thing and it's just showing you, I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry.
So take your time.
Okay. All what I covered this year, I covered depots, I cover court. So this right here is the list of what I covered. I was covering Anderson County, Freestone County, Leon County, Coryell County, Tarrant County, Dallas County, you name it. So I don't know, exhibits or,
Pass it around if you like, please.
okay. This is from January this year until last week, or actually till Monday, because I covered in Tarrant, CPS court on Monday. So I contribute, you know, but like I say, I've learned my lesson. I have help. My personal issues have been addressed. I'm in therapy. I take my medicine, and I want to work. I need my livelihood. I'm prepared. I'm okay with paying the $9,500 in 12 months. If you'll let me, you know, still have my license. Dallas County, I noticed there was an ad for a reporter. So what they did was they went through a temp agency. So I thought it was a scam at first, because I've covered for Dallas lots of times, and usually the reporters will reach out for coverage or whatever. Well, they went through a temp agency because they can't get anyone. So I negotiated with them. I covered with them. It's an auxiliary backlog court. There's a grant that they have right now. And so I've covered that in July. I was able to negotiate my rates, what I charge the counties that I drive to, like Palestine and all that, negotiated my rates as opposed to whatever they're set at. They even offered remote to cover. So my first 2 days covering that auxiliary court was in July or into June. I was able to cover it remotely. That's how.
Thank you, Fuzzy. Thank you.
Handed they are. I covered those. I had that court all last week. I went in, covered it. Now they emailed me yesterday. They had a reporter lined up for August. For some reason, she cannot. So I have they emailed me and asked my availability. I told them I was only able to work up until the 31st, and this is pending. But I do have an email, and it's asking if I can cover August for them and into September. That's 22nd Technologies or something is the name of the company that Dallas County has farmed out that. So I have a good, rapport with them. I have a letter of reference from a district court reporter in Tarrant County, Kirk Mox. He's in the 325th with Judge Cynthia Terry. I've covered his courts. I've done records. I've done appeals for him. So he wrote something on my behalf. Let's see. Okay, and then this right here is my contract with 22nd that I just fulfilled with them for the Dallas County. It just ended last week, Friday.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you.
If I could cover all of August. Let's see. Just this week, I have 2 CPS cases that came down, term parental rights. So those are accelerated appeals. So I have the 10 days. So I have one out of Limestone County and one out of Tarrant County. They just came down this week. So I have those on my thing. So those are in the queue. I got to get those filed the 10 days. And also last year in Bell County, I covered several weeks of a death penalty trial. So I'm in the middle of working on that record as well. And I have several volumes on that. So plenty of work. I want to work. I throw myself at your mercy, basically. I'm just asking for grace. You know, people have a hard time. Mine was health and mental, and that was the root cause. I don't feel I should be punished, but I do understand the severity of the deadlines and trying to make it. So lately, I've been working with a few agencies, and they've been keeping me busy as well as covering the court. I do both. And so they know, I may take a little longer on certain jobs, and they're okay. I'm up front now. I don't sugarcoat. I don't, because I just want to continue to work. I'm not originally from Texas. My ex-husband is, and we moved here in 2013 when we retired from the Navy. We were in Hawaii for 16 years. I was an official there for 10 years. I moved here in 2013. Subsequently, my family has come here, my parents.
Oh my God, Andrea, do you know her? Andrea, she's in Hawaii. She was from Hawaii. Do you know her?
So it's not like I can get up and move. from Texas. This is home. My parents are here, sisters, nieces, nephews have all migrated from California here. So I just would like to continue working as a reporter. I have 3 kids. My son is a 3L in law school in Oklahoma City. He's unhappy with me right now because of this, but he knows what's been going on. I have a daughter just graduated college last year, and then my youngest just graduated high school on her way to college now. So I need to work, and I want to work as a reporter. I'll be 50 this year. I still have decades to work. I don't have any retirement, any savings or anything. My divorce 4 years ago just took me out. Carpal tunnel surgeries, divorce, and then depression, anxiety, and now I'm coming off the tail end of that. So I am a survivor. So I just hope you reconsider. Like I say, I'm trying to make everything right and just moving forward. I know what I got to do. I want to work. I want to stay certified. And that's.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes, please.
Ms. Dixon, how long have you been a certified Texas court reporter?
2013 when I moved here from
That's when you-
Hawaii. Mm-hmm.
And did you ever have any grievances filed against you when you were reporting in Hawaii?
No.
None?
Mm-mm.
So you've actually been a reporter with Texas and Hawaii?
Yes,
Well,
officials, yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of rare, guys. I went to court reporting school in California. I finished school in 97. I sat at home for 6 years raising my babies. I wanted kids
I will tell her myself, Fozzie. I will call her up and tell her.
first. And I didn't report right away. So for 6 years, wasn't on my machine, finished, had my license to work in Hawaii, but wanted to wait till my kids got a little older. So I'd never taken a depo. And so when my daughter turned 2, I started my court job in Hawaii. So that was in 03. And so I was there till 2013. He's now my ex-husband, but he was in the Navy. And so we did
Oops.
4 tours there. He's from East Texas.
Thank you, Fozzie.
And so
Thank
I
you.
left there on my own accord, following him here. And so, yeah, no issues there. It's very different.
And you're a real-time certified reporter?
Since 2008, yes.
2008.
I got my RPR in 2000 and have my Hawaii. It's inactive, but I'm gonna get it back active as well. I've been a captioner, on the TV. I've worked for NCI, National Court Reporting Institute. I've done it all. I'm very experienced. It was the mental part that just got me all,
Well, I commend you for taking care of that. I can understand. I mean, I can.
That's the root of it. And it's embarrassing, guys, but I'm not embarrassing anymore. I'm just, I'm addressing it. And our job is hard, but I love it, y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I love riding on my machine.
Can I ask a question? So I guess my area of concern is clearly you have a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But you're going all over a very wide area to get the work done, right?
Yes.
And I just wonder, is you covering that wide of an area part of what's contributing to some of the troubles you've had in getting some of the work done? That's really hard, right?
No, but my history, right? Your name is out there and it's a small community. So you burn bridges, people get upset. And so, so I go where I get work. I wasn't above getting up and driving 3 hours, I just do it. I don't mind the drive. It kind of relaxes me driving. So I don't have that issue anymore. I live in Louisville now. And so I've been busy I was in Temple for a little while. So that's how I got into all of those,
Okay.
And I made connections there and, they get used to you and stuff. And so I think I kind of found my niche with the smaller, it's kind of like Hawaii, a little bit different, but I've done it all. I have a lot of experience. I have records, I just want to work. That's.
Any other questions from Commissioner? I did not offer you an opportunity last time, Ms. Mohan, but in the hearing phase, did you have any follow-up questions of the respondent?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
The screen went black for a second, but in my defense, Judge Fleischer had his leg on a chair. I had to get a screenshot of that.
Mr. Gibson, is it possible, or Ms. Mohan, is it possible to accept the $9,500 penalty, which, as I understand, it's to be paid within 12 months? The request has just been, well, not to renew her license since it expired a couple of days ago, but the request has been to permanently not renew it. But would it be possible to allow it to be renewed, suspended probation until the fine's paid? And if those things don't happen, they'll automatically have the permanent restriction come into play.
I believe that it would take some good crafting, but I believe that can happen. I believe you could put it like a tripwire into the order that says.
So-
Refer to it, and
Like give her like a probated sentence between 6 to a year, along with the 9,500.
Right.
Right.
So
do you want it to be a probated suspension for a year or until the fine is paid, whichever is latter or whichever is sooner?
Sooner, whichever sooner.
Okay, that could be drafted that way, I believe. Is there any reason why?
I guess my only concern, would she be entitled to a due process hearing before anything automatically happens?
I mean, my point in asking the question is we've apparently had several opportunities to address this, was to avoid having to address it again and just have an automatic penalty flip into that. And your concern's a good one, I think, but I don't want to put her and us through listening to this again if she simply doesn't comply with the requirements.
And if the 9,500 needs to be shortened in the 12 months, I'm okay with that too. I just want to work.
Sooner.
Yeah, I can do 6 or 8, 9 months somewhere in there.
I don't want us to shorten the time frame and make it harder for her to do it, and then it makes it easier for her to fail to do it.
True.
I mean, right? So if she can get it done in 8 or 9 months,
What
we
a
give her
nice
12
guy.
months, and I think that's better than her needing 12 months and we gave her 8 or 9 months.
And I don't mind that either. My point was, can we put an automatic, as Mr. Gibson said, a tripwire in there? If it doesn't happen by the end of the time period, then it automatically goes away. And I think Ms. Mohan's concern is a good one, but I would make a motion to that effect, the 12-month time period for the payment of the fine and the suspended probation.
Probated sentence with the fine being
Right.
paid within 12 months, like.
Mr. Chairman, a representative from the Complaint Review Committee is
I was
here.
gonna ask if we had anybody from the review committee. Did you have anything, good morning, to offer in this regard?
Oh my guys, she really does have some stuff to offer. Here we go.
Sorry, Judge. I was late. I was covering for another court on a Zoom hearing, so I don't even know which person you're talking about.
Fine her. Fine her $2,000 for being late. Fine her. Sorry.
Well, we're dealing with a hearing and she's here present on Cheryl Dixon on 4
Okay.
matters that we have on the agenda.
Yes, sir. And what is being suggested?
Well, the Ms. Mohan wanted basically a permanent revocation, non-renewal type thing. Her license has expired 2 days ago, but there's been a motion made for a probated sentence in essence, and she will pay the prior fine and have no, basically, I think the conditioning is she's a probated suspension and she continues to comply and work and she pays the fine. And if that doesn't happen, then it's an automatic non-renewal and or suspension period, revocation.
Okay.
That's what's being proposed.
And what was suggested by the commission, by the committee, I believe, was revocation.
Permanent.
We discussed this thoroughly, so I would stand by the the suggestion by the committee, but of course, whatever the commission wants to do is, we'll respect that.
What did the committee highlight, what was the, because we already had the hearing with Ms. Rico, and we followed your recommendation in that regard, but can you distinguish between the two or highlight what the specific facts are with Ms. Dixon?
I believe this was not her first go round, and there was if my memory is correct, it was a lot of non-communication. And it was a very difficult decision because we discussed both of those cases on the same day, and suggesting 2 revocations, that was very difficult. But if you're suggesting that she be giving a shot, and if she doesn't comply, that it's an automatic non-renewal, I mean, I'll obviously go along with whatever you guys want to do, but we felt it was serious enough that she should be revoked.
All right, any questions for our representative from the?
Cheryl, can I give some more detail as to what the committee had talked about?
Sure.
How they highlighted?
Yeah, whatever, if you recall of anything you think would be helpful to the commission, go ahead.
So they had taken into consideration the circumstances and the reasoning and the answer of the previous cases from 2018 that led to the suspension. They had discussed how the same mental health diagnoses was a reoccurring, I don't want to say theme, but issue, and how it had been ADHD, depression, and such. In one of those cases, Ms. Dixon had said, I will pay back the complainant, but never did. And then there were issues of Ms. Dixon taking on additional jobs through depositions, being non-responsive to those complainants or to the firms. It was almost the exact same allegations, as well as the reasoning and answer, along with mental health and medication that Ms. Dixon has stated on this go around as well.
Can I interject something? Well, the ADHD diagnosis just came 2 years ago. So that was in 22, and that was in the summer, my actual diagnosis. I've been diagnosed depression and anxiety since 2010 and been on meds since then. However, ADHD came two years ago, the diagnosis. They put me on a non-stimulant medication. It didn't work. And so I was on that for several months. And then in December of 22, I started a stimulant, which was Adderall. Then there's a national shortage. So I get on it. You only get it for 30 days. And then I gotta wait. And so that happened. So just trying to get balanced, it took a while to figure out the dosages and the like, along with life factors. And on top of this, I didn't go into much detail, but long story short, my youngest daughter last year in the summer went to my ex's for the summer for the 30 days. And 2 days before she was due back to me, he filed to switch custody. And for her to talk to the judge, and she said what she said, and custody switched without me. It was not a planned situation. The ex had not been active in her life lately, and she went with him. So I literally just got more and more depressed when my daughter left last summer, and we had court in August, and I had to pay child support to him. And I had just graduated a daughter in college with no help from him. And so I could barely make ends meet myself, was getting eviction notices, what have you. So I was taking what work I could, still trying to take care of my kids, getting motion to go to jail because I didn't pay child support right away. Just crazy, you name it, it was happening. I'm paying $500 a month for my medications, no insurance, nothing. So the fact I'm still here, still standing, speaks volumes, so it's been crazy, but I feel optimistic and things are settling and I feel better and my kids are good and I'm better. And
that's crazy.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot. I know, but I know what the issue is. Before I was not diagnosed with ADHD until 2 years ago, but it takes time, ma'am, for meds to, and then sometimes you plateau and you got to try something else. So it's a science. It's a chemical balance. It is what it is. But I'm
Krieger, let me ask you, if you don't mind, Ms. Krieger, the committee, I'm a big believer, y'all work hard and we appreciate everything you do and the recommendations you make, but what you've just heard, was that taken into consideration by the committee or is this new to you?
No, it was discussed. It was discussed and we had, there's empathy there. It's been difficult. We've had a lot of reporters suffering with all kinds of issues and COVID was a big deal, impacted everybody. And so we understand, but we also have a different job than most people have. And sometimes people can't do the job that's required.
Thank you very much. Again, I appreciate all your help and your efforts and we appreciate your recommendation, but we'll see what the commission wants to do. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you all very much.
Do we have any motions in that regard?
Excuse me, go ahead. To the extent it's necessary, I would make a motion that's consistent with this conversation that we have, I guess, allow her to renew, and she's subject to a suspension but probated for 12 months and has to pay the $9,500 on or before 12 months from the date that, or from now, I guess. And that should she fail to comply with those terms, then the permanent refusal to renew, revocation of her license take place immediately without a need for further hearing.
So I just want to make sure that we're procedurally in the right spot. Are we, her license terminated 2 days ago because it expired. The current pending action was a removal action, correct?
It was a refusal to renew.
A refusal to renew?
Or approve.
Okay. So, the question, so we're proposing to renew. But I guess it's really kind of a conditional renewal, right?
I'd like to amend my answer previously. It's almost like what I understand you're proposing is an actual active suspension that's probated, subject to meeting certain terms, almost like a deferred adjudication.
Yes.
You meet these conditions and then.
And if you
your
don't,
probated suspension will end. But if you don't
Court
meet
reporter.
these terms and conditions, the active suspension.
happens immediately.
And so I just want to make, and this is maybe more academic than anything, but if we're being asked to consider approving her renewal, there's not a suspension, there's nothing suspension oriented pending before the commission, right? That would be in the nature of a removal action, and we would choose suspension as a lesser alternative to removal, correct? And so is it more appropriately a conditional recertification pending these items? And then if she doesn't comply, then her certification, the conditions of certification fails. And so we revoke the certification.
I think it's just to allow her to renew her certification subject to
These conditions.
this active probation, which is suspended pending certain terms and conditions. But right now, I believe there's nothing really pending before the commission. No one's made a motion.
She was making the motion.
That's
But
fine.
I think he'd already, frankly, made
had
a
already
motion,
made it.
and we got off with the representative, Ms. Krieger. So there was a motion. I don't recall a second.
I'll second.
She's made the same motion and that's it again. So it's seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Ms. Dixon, you've heard all the discussion. And I know there's a concern about, if this automatic thing happens, if you're entitled to another hearing and due process and all that. But I want to make sure in lieu of that, you understand exactly what is going to be expected of you. Can you tell me?
Crystal clear. You're gonna allow me to apply for renewal and I have 12 months to pay the $9,500 back. And I need to toe the line and follow through and get my jobs in on time.
And what
not have
happens if
any
what
further
happens if
problems.
none of that happens? If any of that doesn't happen?
Automatic revocation and done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would add, I think tacking on to what Ms. Ariana said, recognizing that there's what's now referred to as a behavioral health problem.
Yeah.
Is an important step in dealing with that. Continue to recognize that exists. Don't be ashamed of saying that's what it is, and continue taking the medication as your prescribers tell you to.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck, ma'am, and thank you for coming in
Thank
person.
you.
I think it shows a commitment that you made the trip and appeared in person. So we'll excuse you at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Step down the hall. Just for our quorum.
I do. We finished the hearings and the rest of this stuff. Hopefully it'll go a little quicker. So let's take about a 10-minute break.
I don't really know what words I have for what I just saw in this last hour, but guys, that's just all of it's just not all of it is not right. All of what I just saw is just not right at all. Why do we even have, why would someone be a court reporter if they have to deal with this? You can make money anywhere. You can. You don't need to deal with this in your life. Quit your jobs. I haunt you. Quit your job. Quit your job right now until they treat court reporters better. Seriously. I mean, I'm just so frustrated and mad for every single court reporter in the world. And I didn't even know it was an issue. I saw court reporters get sanctioned before, but this was just, I don't know. I had to show you guys because every single minute this went on and on. That woman, her son died, so she lost her job. This woman got to keep her job and her son. Okay, so we're moving to Fleischer now. This clip is an hour and 30 minutes long, but we can't watch that much or we won't have enough for next week. We have to ration. We have to control ourselves. Fleischer says we have zero self-control, and he's 100% right. I have zero self-control, period. But we have to stop this, I don't know, at around 40 minutes. What time is it? Okay. So if I don't pause it at all right, I'm going to stop this at some point. I just have to, or we're going to be stuck like Chuck next week. Here we go. Harris County, back to normal, guys. Let's get back to normal. No, Casey. Nope, not listening to that. Listen, he's on vacation next week. We have to keep some for next week or we won't have any.
Who like the sound? All right, I'm gonna push. All right, come on, Merle.
Coral.
Mr. Sanchez, we expect you to show up. When you show up to court, good things happen. When you don't show up, you now know what happens. You will now be dealing with this lifelong consequence as a result of your failure to come to court. You are now pleading guilty to this DWI. It will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. With your record, you have 2 suspended license cases. Now you have a DWI going on your record. When you get pulled over, what do you think an officer is going to do to you? They're going to harass the hell out of you. Every single time you get pulled over, don't matter what you're doing. I don't care if you're going to church, planting tulips, whatever, you will get harassed. And even if you have the faintest smell of alcohol or dope, you will be charged with a second offense. What we're doing today will not happen again. You will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. And if you're not smart enough to consider how to get home on a night of drinking or smoking or whatever, you will be doing a lot of time in jail. Do you understand? You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering in today's agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. Any prior DWIs?
Yes, Your Honor, it was actually dismissal out of Hidalgo County complaint, I think.
Anything else?
And it's a lot of driving without licenses.
How many you got? I see 2 here. Does he have more?
Yes, Your Honor, out of county, give me a second.
Guys, I didn't even notice this. Maybe you guys did and you already commented, but Jason and Logan, look at their ties. They're like matching each other, like twinsies. They're so cute.
Yes.
Jason, I don't know, man. You know, when was that DWI dismissed?
2019, Your Honor. There's one.
So he had that DWI. He picked up this DWI while he was on bond for that DWI.
I understand, Judge. I mean, the problem is I think he works in Florida. Is that correct? So that's part of it. Well, I mean, I'm saying like part of the problem with getting to court is that he works in another state. And I understand he's got to be here. He knows he's got to be here, but
We waive appearances for everyone. There's no excuse. No excuse. I can't in good conscience. When your case is 1,500 days old and you have a prior DWI that you picked up while this other DWI, why would I give you this kind of gift? No, I'm sorry.
I wonder what Logan's pin is. I wonder what it is. We'll have to ask Victoria. She might not know.
And then you have 2 prior suspended license cases here.
One in Stockton and one in Hidalgo County.
2 more suspended license cases. It's not, I don't think so, Mr. Sanchez. You know, I think that if I were to take a time served, I would be enabling your behaviors, telling you that it's okay when it's not. You know, we can go back, we can work something else out. If you do maybe like 20, I'm okay with that. You know, where he probably would have just a weekend, something like that. But I can't, Mr. Sanchez, in good conscience, take this. I can't reward you for having 2 open DWIs simultaneously and then taking off on us for 3 years, 4 years.
how much credit he's got?
Yes, 6 days credit.
6 days.
Yes, 6 days credit. 3 for 6.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'd still be the same thing anyways. You really have 6 days credit.
6 days credit.
What are you doing here? I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. You will be required to pay every court cost that will be assigned to you today, which is a lot. And if you don't pay it, you will go to jail. For every $100, it's a day in jail. How much is it going to owe? With the DWI, it's going to be what, $3,000, right?
You're including the DWI track?
Correct. Yeah.
3,100 and could be 3,600.
Yep. That's what's going to happen today. So if you don't pay the court costs and the DPS fines and fees, you will go to jail. You're being assessed now over $3,000 in fees. So if you fail to pay, every $100 is a day in jail. So you can imagine how much jail time it is if you fail to pay. I am also going to suspend your license for a year. I'm not putting you in jail now, but you know what's expected of you. And if you fail to pay, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Sometimes you hit someone even harder in the pocketbook than when you do with a little bit of jail time. We'll see how it goes now, because if you don't pay, imagine. It's a lot of time in custody.
How much time do we have to pay the?
I don't expect him to pay it all up front now, but I'm going to put him on a payment plan.
Okay.
You know, but I'm going to tell you, if you try to jet on me, I will remember, because I will make notations as to this right now about how many DWIs, how many suspended license cases you have, so that if you flake on us and don't pay it for the $3,400 that's owed and doing, It's $100 for every single day. Mr. Sanchez, you give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, you can never come back and change this, challenge this, undo this. Do you understand? How do you plead to the charge of driving while intoxicated?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for the 6 days that you've done. How much is total of everything?
I'm gonna check right now. $3,600.
$3,600 is what is due and owing that you will pay. Let me give you a piece of advice, Mr. Sanchez. The worst possible thing you can do in this life
Thank
is
you,
drive.
Fozzie.
Because if I catch you driving and you pick up a new case in this court, because I will have jurisdiction over you for the next 5 years. If I catch you in a car driving, I'm going to light you up. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right. Good luck to
You
you.
guys don't get credit for court costs?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be responsible for all the court costs. Correct. Yeah. And then, so what kind of payment plan do they do down there?
I'm not really familiar with that. Usually they'll going off of what his financials are, we can work it out with them down there. I just know that he just has to go down.
Hey, Vic, when they put people on a payment plan downstairs, how long do they give typically?
I'm not sure, Judge. I think they take the consideration.
Can we dictate how long?
I've seen the years,
We did.
and they're allowed to request extensions. But it has to go through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do an extension. Once we do the payment plan now, you will be expected to live up to it, right? So could we do perhaps like a year, 2 years?
I think Trey can put it in.
Yeah, I could put it on the notes.
Also,
He's gonna have to bring it
Okay.
down.
Judge wants 1 year.
What do you do for a living?
I work for Hilton.
How much money do you make a month?
About $2,600 a month.
Boston, take your hat off.
Okay. I don't want to kill you, right? But I want you to pay. So what I will do is I will put you on a 2-year payment plan. So it'll cost you $150 a month. If you don't pay it, every $100 is a day in jail. So you can imagine how much time you'll do on the $3,600 bill. Do you understand? Okay, so you can put them on the 2-year payment plan. Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Sanchez. Don't drive. Hi, Herman.
I'm sorry, Lizzie.
Mr. Brothers.
Okay,
He also has his court date today. I outlined the deficiencies in the state case. They're gonna evaluate.
that's between you guys.
Yes, I didn't,
So-
again, I didn't know.
Um,
And the occupational, he's good to go as well. This is the one that he has a really early morning starting, and he wanted him to be here. And we gave a letter to the court from his employer as well.
Okay.
Because they're pretty early.
Do you have the letter?
Valid in Texas.
Say it again.
Because he's working in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And it's only valid in Texas.
Okay, do you have the letter?
Yeah, I thought I emailed it to you. I could show you.
Oh,
as well.
okay, let me check. Is Ramona here? Do you know?
I don't know, honestly.
He's in the back, Judge.
Hi, Ramona.
Of course, Ramona's here. She's coming. You're in trouble now, Judge. Yes, that's Robin A.
Yes, Judge, can I help you?
I'm just saying hello.
Oh, hello, Judge. How are you?
How's little baby?
He's good. He's
How's
good.
jail?
Hey, I've got Judge Ross on the line. Sorry, no disrespect.
You do what?
I'm talking to Judge Ross.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary. Ramona just threw Judge away to talk to Judge Ross, whoever that is. I'm going to find him, though. Yeah. Fuzzy's wife's gonna kill
I
him.
believe the driver's license was well back. If you want to see it.
When did you send it?
I'm sending it again. I mean, I'm having my staff send it again. I mean, let me see if I,
Today's what? Today's Friday, right?
oh yeah, I sent it a while ago, Judge.
So
I
I'll
mean,
just I'll put brothers and let's see what shows up.
I mean, it might not have, my staff might not have sent it to you.
Don't Google brothers. Stop, Judge. Stop. Don't do it. Please.
It's very rare that we actually send it to
Okay,
a judge.
I have it.
Okay, cool. You have it? Okay.
So this is to confirm that Colton Aller Brothers is currently working for JVIC as a crane and rigging foreman in Port Sulphur, Louisiana. Scheduled to work 12 hours plus a day, starting at 6:30 in the morning to 1900, 7 days a week. So he's gonna work 7 days a week with no days off. Is that what you're telling me?
He's a worker, Judge. That's, yeah. I mean, he's not the first person that's told me that, in that field. You know, I have at least a half a dozen guys that.
Okay, so what times, so he starts work at 6:30. What time do you want to start?
Can we bring him up just to?
Sure.
confirm?
Come on up, Mr. Brothers.
That's right, Mr. Brothers.
Is it like a 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off thing?
I think he's because he's in Louisiana right now, so
So, in the middle. So, I'm very wary with putting my name on a license with someone who has an open DWI second. Because if you do something, it's my name on the license, and I don't want that kind of blood on my hands. So I'm very wary of giving people a occupational license on the second. On the first, everyone makes a mistake. On a second,
No, I'm gonna drink
that tells
it.
me that you're
I'm gonna
still,
drink the beer.
for some reason, not getting it. And so that's why I'm very wary, especially someone who's telling me they're working 7 days a week from now until December
Thank
without
you,
a day off.
Donald and Fozzie.
I find that extremely hard to believe. No one works 7 days a week for the next 4 months.
I got proof.
I'm gonna
I
drink
mean, I
it.
get the letter. I mean, I get it, but nevertheless, 7 days a week for the next 4 months.
It's 13 to 1, 13 days on, 1 day off.
Okay, what is your schedule?
13 to 1.
No. I mean, like,
Sorry, we don't work, the reason, we need more specificity, Mr. Brothers, because as you see, we don't work in that type of
Yes, sir.
industry. So we need some specificity.
where do you live?
I live in Victoria.
Victoria, Texas. Okay, and where do you work?
So
Okay, and how long does it take you to get
DJ, he
there?
lives in Victoria.
hour and a half sometimes. I stay in New Orleans. RV's in New Orleans.
Okay.
The traffic, horrible. It's one way in, one way out.
Here's the rub, though. Just if I give you a license here, it only works for Texas.
Yes, sir.
So if your license is suspended here, the full faith and credit clause of the Constitution, Louisiana will also recognize that suspension there.
Yes, sir.
So you're still driving on a suspended license over there.
I just noticed Ramona standing right behind him and it scared me. She was just there.
So just because I give you a license here doesn't mean it works in Louisiana.
Sir.
You're gonna have to get
Clear that. We've been very.
you're gonna have to get an occupational license in Louisiana.
Yes, sir. I'm just one step at a time. Start there and start go there.
So.
Yeah.
Natty Bow fun. Thank
Right.
you, Fletcher. I'm gonna buy some Natty
My
Bow.
13 days off. Okay.
It's in that the oil field industry. That's how they, especially if they have a hot job, they have to get taken care of.
Okay. What time do you want me to start the license?
That means what time are you leaving your house?
4:30 in the morning,
Okay. And
So-
then to what?
9:30 at night. Perfect. Well, I can go to the gym too.
So that allows you have to be, you can't drive past 9:30
Yes,
PM.
sir. Yes, sir. Perfect. I'm happy with that.
Okay. What do you have now? Do you have an interlock?
Yes, sir.
Judge is just gonna let him go to the gym.
And I guess I haven't heard any violations. So,
He hasn't been driving. He's not supposed to be driving.
Well, but he's still blowing into me. They still, pretrial still makes, he has his car portable, they still make him blow into the machine.
So you said car portable?
No, they still make him blow into the machine. The car is like.
You still
It's
blow into it?
stationary.
Yes,
But he has to blow. He has to start it and blow every day.
Yes,
Okay.
that's how pretrial, it's kind of hot, but
Just
that's the only way they.
beware that no alcohol whatsoever.
I think they have a camera on it.
If I find even, and I don't care what the excuse is, I don't care if it's mouthwash, a tequila lollipop, hair dye, if it blows hot for one reason or the other, I'm gonna yank the license in a heartbeat. I don't care what the excuse is. I will not take
¿Cómo
anything.
estás?
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And don't go joyriding, you know, I'm telling you, if you're driving in Louisiana, you're still driving on a suspended license because this only covers Texas, doesn't cover Louisiana. So you still have to go to Louisiana to get an occupational license over there. You get pulled over, you're gonna get arrested.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Honor.
Okay.
We'll have a seat and wait, right? Just have them wait.
I meant to talk to you.
Don't lose weight.
An occupation. 4:30. 4:30.
At least 2 fish bowls, at least.
I don't want to do an open license from all day, every, no, but, you know, I wanted to go to work and then go home and then some kind of essential. I don't want to do an open every single day from 4:30 in the morning to 9:30. No.
Okay, so
Chop
you
it
want
up.
to chop it up. Okay.
And then ask them what they want, but I'm not gonna do an open, just 14 hours. I could get to joyride all day. And no, I don't want to do that. I want just to work, essential household duties, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And why are there M&Ms in the Skittles, man? What the
Judge,
hell?
I don't know.
man?
I don't eat that
There's
stuff.
M&Ms in here, man. It's like
So-
people try to supplement.
I don't eat it, so.
Traded it. Guys, trade. I'm sure of it. Okay, I'm not. I have no idea who put the M&Ms in the Skittles, but I'm blaming Trey. Yep.
I mean, who
Melissa's
the hell's
not
putting
here
M&Ms in here? Hey, good morning. Why are there M&Ms in here? You lie like a rug.
I have no idea.
They're Skittles, Judge.
No, they're not.
Oh.
Swap M&Ms in there, man.
There's Skittles, Judge.
That is devious, Judge.
It's dubious.
You know, if the devil took your Skittles yesterday, maybe the devil will do it again today.
Okay, tell me. Hey,
It was Steven. Did you hear him? Steven did it. Steven put M&Ms in the Skittles. He is devious. He really is.
Here on Gerald Smith, Judge, and Abel's asking for a bond.
okay. What's your position?
I would be opposed, Judge. So this is what we were in the back trying to figure out. He either has 2 open charges or 3 open charges. We can't tell because the warrant itself shows ag assault, attempt, cause, SBI, purpose, reckless. But the NCIC hit shows neglect of child and intimidation, including stalking. So I don't know if it's just a provision of New Jersey Penal Code where it's like, you know, like if we drop the child into a lava pit, like it's an ag assault by way of neglect, or if it's a separate charge, I don't know. And so I talked to an officer for like 30 seconds and they're supposed to call me back, but we waited 10 minutes and they didn't call back. So we wanted to pre-approve.
Have you asked him? What does he say? How many charges he has open?
1. I mean, I know it's at least 2 because the NCIC hit shows 2. So I know it's at least 2.
He tells me he has 1 that he knows of.
Touche.
And then he has some history and
that were all dismissed.
They were all dismissed, but I don't like the increasing. So it starts from 2006 and he doesn't go for more than 3 years without a new charge. And they're all
Seeing pattern of dangerous behavior. Or what?
terroristic threat, contempt, because, you know, he didn't listen to what a judge told him to do. Assaults, unlawful possession of weapons, possession of unlawful purpose, criminal mischief, just more terroristic threats, more.
Again, no convictions.
Let's talk to him. Let's see.
Yes, Judge.
I don't know what it says. I always like bringing up contempt if you can't listen to what
But
a
you know,
judge told you.
that doesn't really, because there are some judges that are just so, they're so easy to just
Lisi, thank
throw
you.
contempt out there, you know?
Thank you,
Probably more
Lizette.
helpful if it
So-
wasn't terroristic, you know, put it-
Unless we, you know, I don't know how much stock I put into that because but the other stuff kind of scares me because it's,
They're pretty serious.
I don't know, for some reason, I can't pull anything up.
I don't know how hard stalking is to get in New Jersey, but it's hard to get a stalking charge here. And if you have a stalking charge, it's not good. It's not good.
Do you know anything about the latest case?
I have a poll going in chat. M&Ms or Skittles? Who told me to do it? I think it was Metal. Oh no, it was Big Booty Starfish. Anyway, Big Booty says M&M's gonna win hands down. But that's because M&M's gonna win hands down.
What's going on with that?
No, they didn't attach a summary with it, and that's actually what the other thing I was going to ask with the officer. But again, we haven't gotten that. Maybe they'll call in the middle of the approach.
Give me 1 second. Your Honor. We have to cast or something. Have to change out the side.
So she told Ricardo that. Are you otherwise done with the right minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll tell Ricardo. He was waiting for that to finish.
Did we figure something about yesterday's
Yes,
case?
there was an email sent yesterday, so I was right.
You sent me an email?
I did, Judge.
All right, let me take a look.
To approve.
Don't even tell me you voted for Skittles and then you don't like pineapple. What? Fozzie, were you dropped when you were little? Missionary style M&Ms.
Morning, Mr. Smith.
Morning, Your Honor.
How goes it?
Say it again?
How goes it?
It goes.
So, looks like you're wanted out of New Jersey for some serious charges.
That's right.
The problem is that we don't know how many, because it could be at least 2, perhaps 3. I don't know. We know that at least one of them is an aggravated assault bill, right?
Yes. So the actual warrant from the court shows an aggravated assault attempt using serious bodily injury or knowing or reckless, but on the FBI number hit, it shows that he's wanted for a neglect of a child and intimidation, including stalking. And so I don't know if they're separate charges or if one is nested in the other. And I'm just waiting for the officer to get back to me, but I don't have confirmation on the NCIC. It's only the warrant that's in front of me.
Am I allowed to speak on something?
Fruit.
The warrant is
The one that he's talking about, my mother took care of on Zoom
2023.
Well, your mom can't, how can your mom take care of something?
because she's the one that was there when the officers came.
Oh,
Discrepancy.
So she's the complaining witness. The problem is that a lot of people, think that just if a complaining witness says, I want the case dismissed, they think the case is going to go away. It just doesn't work like that, because it's the state that they're the ones that decide whether to dismiss a case or not. They decide whether the complaining witness is being truthful, whether they're being coerced. So I don't know.
So Judge, Abel pointed out something. So the date of the warrants for the other 2 charges are from 2018 and 2020, and this warrant here is from 2023. So it does look like you have 3 charges, but they only placed a hold, at least that I'm aware of, on this one. So I was right, it's 3 charges, but we're only approaching on 1 right now that he's being extradited for.
Okay.
I would still be against a bond, just with that and his history.
What other kind of criminal history does Mr. Smith have?
Starting from 2006, he hasn't gone with more than 3 years without a new charge. I told counsel up front that they were all dismissed, but I'm concerned about the pattern. Starting from 2006, they all seem to be terroristic threats, unlawful possession of weapons, mischief, contempt of court, harassment, and just shows an escalation of different types of violence all the way up to 2017. And so for a pattern of 11 years, it's concerning that couple.
And how many charges do you have in all that time?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the 4 at the beginning, so 11 charges.
All the other ones have been dismissed?
Yes, Judge. Well, at least it shows on the hit that none of them have convictions, so if they had other, so yes, they don't show convictions, but he's been at least charged or arrested for all of them from 2006.
Linus. Dripping, right? Fire. I'd wear that.
2017.
Have they indicated that if we set a bond on this one, that they're going to file holds on the other ones? Do you know?
For the sheriff's office, yes. I mean, unless the DA there tells them different, but considering it's an ag assault and the fact that it's
Problem is that, you know, and a lot of times when people have multiple charges like this, a lot of times they'll only put one because they think that we won't give a bond. So once we tell, because if I set a bond now,
I'm checking right now to see if they put the hold on the others.
Day is going to tell the
check.
sheriff's office, who will in turn tell New Jersey that we intend to set a bond. So what they're going to do, file holds on the 2 other charges because they want you. You know,
So it doesn't look like they placed the hold on the other charges, but like I said, the warrant is still active, at least from what I've run. They just haven't placed, or at least haven't acknowledged it from our Harris County Sheriff's Office side to their sheriff's office side. So it exists. They just wanted to hold for this one for now. Or it could be that they didn't verify it, which that's not. Let's just keep it later.
I mean, really, he has all his cases are dismissed.
The previous history ones, yes,
Yeah.
Judge.
I mean, he just has the one case plus the other 2 that they haven't filed on those.
Yes.
So,
Judge, reconsidering, my client would like to keep his waiver.
oh, I mean, if you want to keep it, then that's fine.
Thank
We'll
you.
just, yeah, okay,
Ooh,
Thank you.
cat.
Judge.
for sure. Hey, good luck though.
This one's gonna be more
I
fun.
wonder what happened.
Conspiracy charge and then the second fugitive bond, which would retract, but they.
Which is the
Bye,
North Carolina
Fuzzy.
bond that he made.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
I would agree with that assessment. Everything that's been posted is from North Carolina. The 20 and the 75, if we're mixing up which one goes to which, those still deal with North Carolina, not the.
So where do we go from here?
So just with that, I mean, with previously, with the previous conversation of him coming out and then picking up the extra charges, I'd still be wary of, well, so I still wouldn't agree, but I understand the court wants to set a bond. And the other part of the conversation we really didn't get to is the feasibility of his mother being able to pay any sort of bond. But I mean, everything I'm gonna ask for is gonna be at least 5 digits just because of.
And I wouldn't do anything less, just to be honest with you.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
so.
because I want to make sure that he gets there. And I'm not going to give you 2 weeks. You got to go now.
But just with the nature of it, with, at this point, at least he's been returned. Restriction given by the court, I wouldn't agree, but I wouldn't be opposed to a $10,000 bond. So, at least.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
And so, again, also, obviously, that's predicated on the fact that the mom can actually pay the bond. But if not, then he's just losing time if he withdraws his waiver, so.
And so I am gonna advise my client as to how it can't go both ways if he withdraws the time frame and he has the bond.
Has he waived already?
No. Well, he's waived. He
He's
started
waived.
the clock.
Right.
He hasn't pulled.
Did he waive?
He waived, third, hold on, I mean,
6th, I wanna say.
you might be right, hold on.
It's been a week.
Yeah, he's been, and so it's close. And so that's something we need to talk about to see if,
If
you know,
it's just gonna be another week and a half versus.
versus
right,
doing all
an
this and
extra
putting up money and.
$10,000.
So here's the deal. If you want to bond out, I will set your bond at $10,000, right? Here in Harris County, there's no 10%, there's no 20% on these types of bonds. You pay it all up front. And if you fail to go within the prescribed time that we set, I will revoke it, set it at 0. And I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Robinson, you will not get another one from us. So if you ever pick up another charge from another state and you try to make it over here and try to play games like that, you will sit in custody until the other jurisdiction comes and gets you. Do you understand? I don't play this game twice. It's yes or no. Do you understand? Okay,
What would your time frame be, Judge, for him to turn himself into?
I would, at least a week, I gotta give, you know?
Wait, for here to Virginia?
Yeah.
It's a 21 some odd hour drive, and obviously, you know, longer
I'm, Day, I gotta give at least some time, you know, I'm not gonna do the 2 weeks because he already had a bunch of time over there and then he's coming over here. So, but I'll at least a week.
1 week from today.
So that's the problem is, you know, if typically we give the other jurisdiction 14 days to come get you, which would be a week from today. If they didn't come get you within the week, we release you here, right? And then you still have the time within the 14 up until August 14th to go turn yourself in. Whereas if your mom posts all that money now to get you out a week earlier, you're still gonna have to make it up by the week.
Judge, if I could just confirm, what was his waiver date?
26, you're right.
26, and what's his reset date as of now?
August 9th, if he withdraws his waiver today.
If he withdraws.
Because if his mom can't pay the bond, because we still haven't answered the question whether his mom can't pay the.
Let's assume that he keeps the waiver.
She's ponied up all that money now, Dave. There's, of course,
If he keeps his waiver, then it's going to be the 12th.
The 12th, August 12th. Okay, I'll
So
talk
that's
to my
right, we can-
client about that. I'll talk to my client, see if.
just let us know and, you know, I'll call mom as well. Do you need mom's number? You got
Have
it?
a real conversation.
And then let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Accordion.
Judge, Mr. Davis would like to speak with you.
Do you mind bringing out Broderick Davis? Charles.
He plays the triangle.
Hey, do you wanna, like, kind of,
Finger symbols.
Stephen, can you stay with us over here, please? When Davis comes out, can you stay with us, please?
Upside down bucket.
Do you want a preview? He wants to talk to you about promises made and broken,
I get it, but
about the inadequacy of my refusal to file a writ until the governor's order.
it's okay.
And that I can't file things that I don't believe in.
You know what's nuts is this isn't the longest notes of any one case.
The spoons. Gemma, you just explained something and confused me way more. So Fozzie asked, what's a bacon ball? I am outstandingly curious to know the answer of what is a bacon ball because I want one or two or a lot. Now I'm trying to wrap my head. Okay, Cheetos. I think you call them crisps. Cheetos, I get. Crisps, I get. But then it's small, round ball like crisp, flavored like cheese and bacon. So crisp is potato. Cheetos is like heroin, I think. Bacon is okay, boy, girl. Cheetos, bacon, boy, girl. I don't know what any of this means, but now I'm very hungry.
That I still have like 3 others that are longer than this. That's just wild.
I don't think he's gonna care though, Dave.
In terms of like how complicated, I thought it would be long.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Okay. Sounds good.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
Yeah, I was very excited.
Did you have a good vacation?
Oh, I did. We ate everything. I think we just ate so much that
I don't want any license of mine.
But no, it was really good to get away and just have a week. I only checked my phone twice, so yeah, it was really,
I
really
mean-
good. There's also new places. What about you? You got vacation?
We need to plan ours. We can't decide on what to do.
No, but crisps are potatoes. Aren't crisps potatoes? Right? They are. I know they are. Right? Listen, we're international in this chat. We learn things. And crisps are what we call potato chips. And chips are what we call French fries. And Cheetos are neither of those. Okay, I think is this guy the Savsit-ish person, guys? I think maybe I'm wrong. Legal, you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Oh, well, this is gonna go to the
Okay, I'll try
No,
anything once.
I don't want a blanket open so you can do whatever you want the whole time at any time. No,
Okay.
it's only essential needs. Work, essential needs. That's it. Good morning, Mr. Davis.
How you doing, Your Honor?
So what happened was, I'll let you explain it because.
Yes, Judge. So, from our last approach, because of how contentious it was entered in that a waiver withdrawal was denied. Basically, that you did not withdraw your waiver. And because of that, our sheriff's office sent a teletype to the demanding jurisdiction, but there was a miscommunication and they sent over that you withdrew your waiver. So they were working on a governance warrant, which was the original thing that we were approaching for because you were refusing. And so they were working on that for the past 2 weeks. However, obviously communicating yesterday because the date for court was today as they realized their error and I realized where it happened. And so at this point, I've talked to a detective, a supervisor detective, and now the prosecutor on the case because it's kicked up that high. And so they said that the fastest they can have a human here safely and to transport is on August 8th. So that's the fastest they can. And that's not using a third-party transport. That is their agency coming. So that's
an actual officer coming to get him?
I don't know who specifically. I want to say yes, but I can't say for sure. I just know someone in their office is coming. That's all I know. So, yeah.
That's the rub.
Sorry?
That's what's going on. You got to understand that, you're an inherent flight risk. I can't give you a PR bond. You're wanted out of a different state.
Yes, sir. And that's that we spoke about this
Bye, Michael.
previously. And you even encouraged me as I explained to you that was my whole purpose, is to get this behind me. The only way I can get this behind me, I see, is if I'm in custody there. There's nothing stopping me from going there, but you, Your Honor. I've been made preparations to go up there and take care of everything. I have an attorney up there. I have a housing location. I have everything in place. The only thing it is I have to convince you to release me. I've done my 15 days. I've done what you asked me to do. I can't, that's not I have nothing to do with that. There's nothing that I can tell the prosecutor. It's my first time even talking to the prosecutor. There's nothing that I can tell them. There's nothing that's happened on their end. It's my fault. I've sat and waited and did everything that you asked me to. Kept my nose clean, done everything you asked me. Only thing I'm trying to do is move on with my life. I can't move on with my life if I'm continuously held due to things that I have no control over. I didn't make no error.
I'll be here within the next 6 days. Imagine this. If I let you go now, how are you going to make it up there?
I have a vehicle. I will be there before the 8th. There's nothing that will stop me from getting up there and taking care of this. That is my main goal. As I explained to you, my whole 6 years I've been out, I've been working. I drive trucks. There's nothing's gonna stop me from getting up there, or me getting pulled over, and I'm not driving. Yes, it's not a stopping ID state, but
we're just too close. I'm not going to give you a PR bond, sir. We're just too close to the finish line where we have them coming within the next 6 days to come get you, so you can finally go down there and take care of business.
Yes, sir. But as you said, they had to the 30th. We went through this before, and I feel like it's gonna continuously happen.
We had, no,
So for the original, when the hold was released, and so now I'm switching back to when the BOP hold was released statutorily, in the extreme limit is the full month starts from July 18th.
when was the parole hold lifted?
So it was lifted on July 18th. So statutorily, and again, this is the extreme, but we're trying to get it sooner.
That's when the time starts running.
So we have
Once that parole hold gets lifted, that's when the time starts running, and they have 30 days to come get you.
The DA down there said the time started running on the 8th of April. It's a whole.
I don't know.
I wish I could have sent you the email.
Selena.
If I was able to get the email, I'd have gave it to you.
Told you that has
Order in the court.
whoever's telling you that is
Scott.
completely wrong.
Yes, sir.
While you have a parole hold or while you have an open case, the time for the demanding jurisdiction to come get you, that time is told, meaning it's placed on hold until every single hold is lifted and you're eligible for pickup. That's when the time starts running. And according to Mr. Kim, that time started running on the 18th. So the 30 days for them to come get you started from that time. So theoretically, we could hold you until August 18th if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And putting pressure on them to come get you sooner because you've been waiting for so long.
Yes, sir.
Right? But it's not his fault. It's not Shreya's fault. It's not my fault. It's the Board of Pardon and Parole that put the hold on you. And the fact that they would not release that hold. And it took them calling them ad nauseum and bothering them over and over. I mean, how many times did Shreya call them to try to get them to lift the hold?
6 hours worth. I understand.
It's a lot.
Yes, sir.
It truly is a lot to put in for phone calls. I don't know anyone who's put in that amount of phone calls to get a parole hold lifted. You know, not many will put in, you know.
But from what the case law says and what.
I don't care what you're talking about, case law. No,
The parole officer said that they had 91
Thank you.
days.
Thank
and
you,
I hadn't been
Booty
indicted.
Starfish.
This is a case where I haven't been indicted, Your Honor.
What are you talking about,
I was
indicted?
talking about parole law, and I told him that he
Mhm.
should hire an attorney for his parole issues, if he wants to file it right there, that I can.
It doesn't matter. They lifted the parole hold.
Yeah, the parole hold.
It doesn't matter. It's over.
Yes, sir. And I understand that. My whole point is I'm just trying to get up there. I understand they're gonna come on the 6th, but what if they don't come on the 6th? Like you told me, well, the 8th.
That's
I
a good,
apologize.
now, Mr. Davis, that's a great question. Day, what if they don't come?
Your Honor, if they don't come, that's gonna be a different conversation because at this point, I have at least this in writing.
At that point, I'm inclined to agree with you.
You
I
told
will
me
be.
last week also.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna put up with it. Like if they're obtuse and they don't make it up here that time, I will have no sympathy,
Yes, Judge.
you know?
Do you remember you told me that?
I will agree with you on
Yes,
that
sir.
because you've been waiting for so long. They're telling us that they're gonna be here on,
And I have it in writing. This isn't a phone call. I have it by email with the
so
prosecutor.
if they're not here to come get you at that time, it's over. I'm done playing.
Your Honor, you aware that this was the same thing? You looked at the email yourself and said the 30th and they will be here? There is no extension? Do you remember you said that?
I don't know.
Now, to be clear, you're partially right. They did have it in writing that they're coming by the 30th, and Ms. Peters had repeated that, but the judge didn't say there would be no extension.
I don't know.
This judge didn't know.
You don't? Okay.
But no, I'm telling you, there was no conversation about any.
But
extension.
now, you and I are on the same page.
Yes, sir.
And he's on the same page with them. Please send them an email saying that there's no extensions. I don't care if Mother Teresa tells them they can't, that she gets in the way or whatever. I don't care.
Can I ask you this? What is my stipulations?
Rico,
If they don't
thank
come get
you.
me, how long are you gonna give me?
I'm gonna
to get
release you. If they don't come get you on that day that they said they're gonna come get you, I will release you.
Yes, sir.
And then, no, but you gotta understand, even if we release you, that warrant
It's really hard to roll.
will be there forever and a day.
I'm going up there. I already have an
I don't
attorney and
care.
everything.
Understand.
Yes, sir.
I get a lot of people that tell me
sir.
it's little bunnies jumping in the woods,
Mhm.
tulips, little white picket fences. But when they get out the door, it's something completely different.
Yes, sir.
That warrant will eternally be waiting for you
Yes, sir.
when you walk out that door.
Yes, sir.
So if you're walking on the street, you jaywalk and they arrest you, right back over here and a new hold is gonna be
Start
placed.
over, yeah. I'm well aware.
So I hope that they come on that day, because if not, we're gonna have a lot of upset people, except for you.
But that's why I was asking, if you release me on the 8th, and how long are you gonna give me to go up there?
Then
That's
you're
what I'm
done,
asking.
you go up on
You,
your
you just, I'm releasing you. Like, there's no, you need to go up as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's my
No
intent.
bond I'm giving you, there's no nothing. You just, I'm gonna give you a PR bond. I'm gonna tell you, all right, make it up your way over there. Because the longer you take, the more chance you take to go into another jail. And, you know, if you get arrested again, I mean, it's very possible they put another parole hold on you because they know that you're not making it up there. And then you spent another 4 months.
I'm well aware.
So-
Your Honor. Yes, sir.
He's documenting, he's gonna email them so that they know that if they don't make it up here, it's on them.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Okay. Good luck, Mr. Davis. Thanks, Shreya.
Tonight, yeah.
Because this is his third time being taken into custody, so.
February 2023, June 2022.
So he has 10 days credit?
10 days credit.
10, okay. All right, Mr. Herndon, we're,
1 penny. That's cute. Nope, they take a little bit more.
Ramona, you ready, right? Okay,
Apple.
we are on the record in cause number 2410721. State of Texas versus Jacob Rishaw Herndon. Mr. Herndon, if you remember, we went to trial. You were convicted by a jury, found guilty. You have filed notice of appeal. Nothing ever came of that. And so the notice was, or the appeal was basically dismissed and denied, or denied and dismissed, whatnot. So now it's time to sentence you. I'm going to sentence you to 180 days in jail on that criminal trespass. I will give you credit for the 10 days that you've done. You now have picked up another trespass. So we will also be dealing with that now in the interim. We have appointed you, Mr. Sims, to represent you on the new case and actually on this case as well for purposes of sentencing. Your bond is set at $100 on the new case. I will let you speak to Mr. Sims to see how we're going to go forward on that case. Do you have any questions, sir?
I don't need an attorney, and I got an airport ticket because I live on a reservation in Canada, but I don't need an attorney, and they already have a subpoena at IH for something else because I needed to get something else from IH. So we can get the subpoena from the civil courts and work that out, and I'm still gonna appeal the decision because it was never answered, and I sent it to the Fifth Circuit as well.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The appeal, I'm still gonna appeal the decision because it was never answered. That's the first time one of my appeals were never answered. But I wrote a writ of mandamus, so I'll correct this too, if I have to correct it from here.
Okay.
His poor lawyer's like, yep, sounds legit.
Okay. So I guess, I don't know, I guess you let me know if you want to represent yourself.
I am.
I mean, I've given you a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm gonna represent myself. I didn't break any laws. I was waiting on somebody to do
Well, let's not talk about the case. Remember, there's a ton of DAs in here. Everything that you say, they're gonna sit there and use. So just don't say anything at this point against you. You know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, they can and will use against you. So that's why now's not the time. I guess what I'll do is we'll leave Mr. Sims as standby. And I guess we'll have to have another Ferretta hearing as far as whether to represent yourself, because I don't know what's happened since the last 8 months I've seen you. When did we last see Mr. Herndon? Has it been 6 months, 8 months? I don't even remember.
Hiya.
Well, we'll have to, I'd like to have a hearing on whether you should represent yourself or not, okay? And then we can make that decision. For now, I have Mr. Sims representing you. If you ever have any issues, just talk with him. He can always help you out. He's a great lawyer, you know, really. We use him.
Not to cut you off, Ryan, I've had some bad experiences with some attorneys, and I'd rather.
I understand. I get it. But remember what happened with the last case.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not worried about the last case because you don't have a writ on file. My main concern is just getting through this at the moment, and then we'll go to that. Because I talked to the other judge, the civil judge that was supposed to order the writ. He never ordered one. So we'll go through that process, and then we'll just deal with this, like you said.
Okay, Mr. Herndon. All right. Well, good luck to you. Sir. Okay, and then I guess you want to set it off. How long? And then is this? I can't imagine discovery is obviously not complete because it's such a new case.
Kelly, a lot of people were curious, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, no.
Judge, just about everything's pending on.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to try to get everything as fast as possible for you. So, you know, it doesn't take a while. And then I guess we'll just go through the whole rigmarole. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Herndon.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sims.
I'm sorry, Judge, when his trial concluded in February 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Last time we saw Mr. Herndon was February of 23. Now we are August.
That's it, guys. I have to. Listen, I have to, or we won't have any Judge Fleischer for next week. I got to be the adult in the room. I have to. Lori, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, listen. This is going to bite me. It's going to bite me. But hold on. I can play a different clip. I have to stop Fleischer. But hold on. I think. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Oh, no, that's a 2-hour clip. Oh, I could do look away again. No, just kidding. All right. I have a clip called Stabby. I don't know what it means. I can't remember what it means. Should I just play Stabby? Let's do Stabby because I can't remember what it means and I am curious. I hope it's not bad. Well, it's court. They're all bad. All right. Goodbye, Judge Fleischer. I have to turn you off now, but don't worry. You'll be back tomorrow. I remember now. Okay, so Judge Fleischer is in courtroom 5 in Harris County, Texas. All right. So the courtrooms are similar. Okay. This is the 184th District Court. I don't know her name, but she's the one we had a couple days ago, where the girl didn't want treatment. She wanted to go right to jail. And this judge is so good. I don't know. I just like her a lot. I have no idea what her name is. I guess I could Google it, but you know what? I'm really not going to tonight. Nope. I'm just going to play Stabby. And this courtroom is so loud compared to Judge Fleischer's. People are slamming things the entire docket loudly, or the microphone is right beside the door. I don't know.
Good morning, ma'am. What's your name? Good morning, Miss Thompson. Does she need warnings, Janae? I'm going to hear probable cause on your case, ma'am. Probable cause is not a trial, Miss Thompson.
Guys, that is definitely not Mr. Allen, and that is definitely not Stephen.
It's not a finding of guilt. It just gives a...
I would like him to be like the Rock's bodyguard or Jason's bodyguard.
For more information about the allegations. Mr. Hagerman?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll read the probable cause and then I will dive into a criminal history with some more specificity to kind of frame the probable cause. So the complaining witness is the defendant's common law husband. Officers were dispatched to a weapons disturbance call. The complaining witness stated that the defendant began to get aggressive due to her suspicion that he was cheating on her. She became more and more aggressive and eventually reached into the kitchen, pulled out a knife, and made, quote, jamming motions towards him. The officer inquired what that meant and had him replicate that action. Officer then saw the action and described it more as a stabbing motion. The complaining witness attempted to disarm the defendant, and the defendant then simply reached into the kitchen and grabbed 2 more knives, where she was arrested on the scene. The defendant made a statement. She did admit that she got a knife from the kitchen drawer, with the knife pointing it at the complaining witness. Defendant then initially stated that she was only doing it in self-defense. And I referenced just a little bit of criminal history. There's a 1996 PCS state jail probation that was revoked for 6 months. 2009 possession with intent, 6 months state jail. But in 2008, we have a murder conviction that was pled to a PSI, 12 years. And the facts are very similar, Your Honor. Just from the DIMS, the complainant and the defendant began to physically fight one another. The fight was broken up by mutual friends. The defendant, after the fight was over, ran towards the sister's apartment, obtained a knife, went back outside, and stabbed the complaining witness in the chest. And then she then confessed on an audio video recorded interview. And then she pled, it looks like she pled open and received a 12-year TDC sentence, Your Honor.
Client, sir.
Say that again.
Can you tell me about your client?
Your Honor, she's 61 years old. She doesn't have the ability, the financial ability to make a bond. She has been living in the same place of residence for 4 years, Your Honor. And I don't think that she has the ability to make even the bond that has been made. The bond has been set at $100,000. Her and the
It's not at 100, it's at 10.
I'm so sorry. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
sorry. Sorry. So then, Mr. Johnson and her do not live together anymore. He has his own place. She has her own place, and we believe she will not be a threat to the community. We believe that there's some things that can be done to sufficiently ensure that she comes back to court when needed and necessary, and also to protect the GPS monitor would be sufficient.
Okay. Is the state moving forward on this motion for a hearing to deny bail?
No, Your Honor, but I did file a motion for sufficient bail, Your Honor, and I just don't see it in deeds for Your Honor to reference. Do you?
Janae, do you see it? I am going to raise the bond on this case in light of what I've heard about her criminal history. I'm concerned. I am actually going to raise it to $100,000. And ma'am, in the event that you make that bond, I am going to order that you have a GPS monitoring device. I'm specifically concerned about you refraining away from Charles Ray Johnson. You're going to be ordered to refrain from going to or within 1,000 feet of 14430 Minetta Street in Houston. You're also going to be ordered to submit to random urinalysis, and you're also going to be ordered to remain within Harris County. You're also going to be ordered to remain within Harris County and its contiguous counties. No drugs, no alcohol, and no firearms. You understand your bond conditions, ma'am? Alrighty.
Your Honor, if it please the court, could we have a hearing regarding the amount of the bond sometime next week?
Sure. I can just let you know it's nothing is going to, we can have it, but I don't want you to waste your time and resources.
At the court's convenience.
Sure, we can, next week is probably not gonna be good, because I think we have about 10 hearings set a day. But if you wanna look at the court schedule for the end of the month or the beginning of September, I'll be more than happy to hear it.
Yeah, thank you.
And I will let, well, Joe Frank is out on paternity, but his stand-in, Eric Johnson, is an elder based on
I see.
I'll just let her know to be in touch and just to monitor.
I mean, she already went to jail for murdering someone by stabbing them. So, yeah, she raised she raised the bond in this lane. She doesn't look upset about it. She's like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I don't know her name. Remember, I started the clip saying I don't know her name. It's the 184th District Court in Harris County, Texas. So maybe Google will know. Yeah, I know, because we keep talking in chat. We forget there's videos playing. So this woman murdered her last partner by stabbing them. And now she was stabbing someone. I know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out. This was so much fun today. I'm going to get a lot of comments on how much I paused today, but yeah, you know, pauses happen. I'm going to play an outro. Oh, look at Barb. Barb saves the day. And of course she's a Kathy. Of course she's a Kathy. I love her. I love this judge. Oh, no. Guys, hold on one second. Do not swear.
I just wanted to ask you to play a different outro
I
song.
don't have an outro ready. I have this one ready. You have to give me more time. I worked a damn double today.
Just click on a link from Discord. Damn, woman.
I don't have Discord open, because you know what happens when I have Discord open during lives. I am not opening Discord. Nobody can make me. Jesus could need to ride to church and I will not open Discord.
You told me not to swear and you said damn.
I did not. Prove it. You always gaslight me, Fozzie.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, where was I? He's like he's like my boss. You know that. He actually is my boss, actually. You didn't hear it? I had it on speaker. That's the best I could do. He tried. I need more time. Okay, outro. You're right. Outro. I just had it ready. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for coming out today. I will see you all next time.
Got this light that goes digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late at night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales waiting to the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes near a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each string, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. eyes blue like a summer's moon. Her hue, a dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her hue, a dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm.